So what would you say? Do you think there's space for new creators? Do you think people can still get in on this action?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I feel like especially with kind of this, I feel like last few months to the last year, I guess, there's just been a lot of shifts in social media, especially with TikTok and,
Yes.
now Instagram trying to like kind of figure out what they're doing. They're like doing more video, but we're also trying to prioritize creators. And everyone's upset that they aren't focused on photo anymore, but now they're like, oh, but we still are focused on so it's just kind of like this weird time in social media. But I feel like it's like for a while I feel like I heard a lot of people saying like, oh, if you didn't if you haven't started and Instagram account with the intent of kind of growing it, if you haven't, if you're just doing that in the last few years, like it's too full. Like you had to start 5 or plus years ago to make it. But I'm like, there's literally a friend of mine started her account in April, and it's like she blew past like 70,000 followers in a few months.
Wow.
Like is really doing well. And I'm honestly like, that's so cool. Like that.
Totally.
I think it's definitely difficult. Like I think where people are frustrated now is that the things that have worked for a long time just don't work anymore.
Yeah.
You can't just have a feed full of pretty perfectly curated photos like that. That just isn't how things work. So people get upset that their engagement's gone or whatever, but it's like, no, it's just like what people want to see and what people engage with is different, has changed. For me personally, I'm like, I feel like all the changes have been really good because I'm like, it's kind of shaking things up. And like all of these influencers who have been at the top of the game now are like, I kind of have to reassess what I've been doing and figure out how to compete with these kids who started an account, 4 months ago and are now killing it, So honestly, I'm like, I think it's a great time to jump in as a creator. Like the creator economy isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's only getting bigger. So yeah, I'd
Get
say
in.
definitely room. Totally. Yeah. And it's like every circle is different, where for me, it's like, I'm in this cocktail liquor world, which is a pretty big circle, but it's like I said, like it's big, but it's also not big, especially compared to like the food photography, food blogger world. Like I mentioned, like that's just massive. And that's a little harder to get in and get noticed because there's so many people doing food focused content, where the drink world, it's like, it's just not as saturated yet. But that's where it's like, that's literally only 2 circles I mentioned, food and drink. It's like there are so many other niches and focuses, and kind of each one has its own way of doing things and kind of has its own potential sponsors and ways of monetizing. So I'm just like, it's a big world, and there's Instagram isn't the only thing anymore, which I feel like is a good thing. So